Yes, people, welcome back to another episode of Real Ball Talk. Hope everyone is blessed and having a good week. What are you telling me, Jelil?
Yeah, good man. I get excited when we do these kind of interviews because I always get to hear the story of a professional. Because obviously, if I didn't injure my knee when I was younger, I would have been where he was. You get what I'm saying? So it's always good to get into this, bro. Let's go, man.
No worries. And obviously, big up our special guest today, Mr. Frank Nouble. I always pronounce it wrong.
Oh,
how you doing, guy?
No, I'm well, man. Thanks for having me on, lads. I appreciate it.
No worries, man. Thanks for taking the time with us. And obviously, people smash the likes and subscribe to the channel. So, listen, Frank, man, let's get straight into it. Obviously, we had the pleasure of having your brother Jelil on.
Yeah.
I think he's actually got his first game for Livingston today.
He has, yeah.
Still...
So I'll be putting that on later. We'll try to get on TV somehow later on, but hopefully he can come on and make an impact.
Yeah, no, 100%. So, obviously, you and Joel had similar journeys in the sense that, you both started off at the Chelsea Academy.
Yeah.
So I guess, because obviously at Chelsea, you had a huge reputation. You know what I'm saying? Like, you were ripping it up, killing it.
Yeah.
So I guess, take me back when you started kicking ball before you joined Chelsea. Like, from when did you start getting a sense that, right, I'm a baller, I can do something in this game?
Yeah, no, it feels like a long time now. I feel like a player for a while, bro. But no, taking it back, played for a local team called Red Lion in Surrey Keys area. Obviously, we grew up in Deptford, Peeps Estate. So my school was Deptford Park Primary School. I used to go every morning, finish my shoes off in the morning, play football before school started every morning. Lucky enough, parents let me go. It's different now, obviously. Now I got my youngest brother. My mum wouldn't even let him go to the corner shop. But back then, she allowed me. I think more of she used to have time. So I think she was working. My dad's working. And I just used to go to school, play football every morning. And my brother, he got scouted to under 6 elite Chelsea training camp thing. So it's probably the team that you train for before you actually go to the academy, right?
Yeah.
And they used to go Battersea. So same time I signed for Red Lion, I'm scoring maybe 40 goals a year. Not realising that maybe I'm going to become a pro, just the enjoyment. Do you know what I mean? Starting to really enjoy. So I was lucky enough to play football from a young age, 8 years old, 9 years old, 10. And that's when I proper fell in love with the game. So yeah, my brother got signed for Chelsea eventually the same year. Everyone's buzzing for it. And then they invited us to a dinner. Chelsea dinner. So I think one of the first team players was there. I think it might have been Damien Duff or something like that. This is going back Jose Mourinho times.
Yeah.
Robert, when DJ first signed, I think that's around about the year when Joel signed for Chelsea. So I went there, put my best suit on, gold suit, wanted to impress. And I met a guy called Damien Matthews, under 11 coach, under 12 coach. And he just looked at me and said, "Oh, do you play football, son?" And I went, "Yeah, I play football." I'm currently at Red Lion, a team called Red Lion, and actually, funny enough, that week I got scouted for Millwall, so I was meant to go on trial for Millwall that same week.
Yeah.
He said, "All right, cool, come train with us for a couple of days, and we'll have a look at you." Obviously, I'm thinking this is the biggest luck and chance I can have in the world, isn't it, to go play at Chelsea's academy at under 11s. Like, for me, all I knew was the pen, or the football cage in my area. Used to call it the pen. And that's all I knew. So, and play on Sunday league football. So to get a chance to go there and even be at Stamford Bridge, that's where the dinner was. Everything was like flashing lights. So what do they call the phrase? Rabbit in headlights or whatever.
Rabbit in headlights, yeah.
But that's what it felt like. And for an African family to come from nothing, where there's no money in the house, everyone's working, their arse off to make money for everyone in the family. It was like a golden ticket.
Yeah.
So yeah, my dad was just like, "Look, let's go." When we sent him the email of everything about where I'm playing and currently and stuff like that, age, passport, all that kind of stuff. And I went there, trained for 3 days. On the third day, I got signed. So, in this life, it was all about timing. I always tell.
And what was that? 11 years old.
Yeah, under 11s team. So I was under 11. My brother was 5, turning 6. So he signed for under 6 or under 7 age group. I'm sure he was 6 maybe, and I was 10. Yeah, so we're 4 years different. So I was 10. And I signed for Chelsea. I signed a 1-year contract. And then from there on, I played a year up every year. I was killing it.
Yeah, say no more. Jelil, you want to come in there?
Yeah, I mean, just taking it back. So you said that you took football serious, what, at the age of 10?
Yeah, proper serious at age of 10. I mean, the Sunday league thing was good. It's how serious it was for me. I was missing church on Sunday, so for me that was already a big commitment. Do you know what I'm saying? I have to convince mum and dad I ain't church, and then now they got to tell all the parents, oh, why is your son not there? Then they have to make up a lie. Maybe he's not playing football. But now I'm signed for Chelsea. Oh, my son plays for Chelsea now, so you don't want to complain about him not being there. We're not a Christian family, proper family, or whatever. This is what he's doing. So I had to kind of justify. That was my pressure. Justify it to my parents that I want to play football. It wasn't about being a pro or anything like that. Don't get me wrong. When the Italian TV used to come on Channel 4, Channel 5, I used to watch that.
Yeah.
But that was about it. Like even the major tournaments when I was younger, we watched it, but it weren't like religious. Do you know what I mean? For me, what was religious was to go out and, come back home sweaty. Do you know what I'm saying? Mum might say to me, come back for 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock after school. I'll push it to 7:15 just because I wanted to improve myself and prove my boys that I'm the one. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was my pressure. It wasn't about, again, no one from my area, there was no idol to look at to say, oh, that's the guy that we need to follow or whatever. Do you know what I'm saying? So you just play football.
That's what I was going to ask you. Because Joel said that in his interview that it was because of you, kind of like in terms of you guys kicking balls to play for the older team. He was that good. Yeah. I was going to say to you, who's kind of like the person you looked up to? Who's kind of your idol? Who's the person like, yeah, okay, cool, he's in football, I'm going to join him and do it? Or was it just purely off TV players or just people you played with?
No, it was when I was younger, just people in my area. There's a few ballers in my area that I thought were on the joke of a player. Like, we had people in my area. There's a guy called Mohammed. There was a guy called Humphreys. These are my idols. I wanted to be on their team, or if not on their team, I wanted to beat them and show them that I'm coming through as well. So, and got all the olders on the side. You're trying to impress them. Like that. That's what it was. It wasn't. I want to get to the academy. Didier or Henry or whoever. It weren't that. We saw them, great on TV, but it was far. Touch the olders that were in my see what they were doing. I could see they were getting you back. So I wanted that.
Yeah.
To get all that. It was like, okay, I'm starting to learn now a bit more about the corporate side, like how to play the game in terms of go to training, show good attitude all the time, smile, these kind of all that kind of stuff you get taught as in the academy. So, the rough diving was becoming, more clearer and cleaner as I got older, and I learned the ways. And again, I always say players that don't go through the academy, obviously it's not the end of the world. There's always a chance. Football, if you're good enough, someone will spot you. Hopefully, chances are slimmer the older you get. I get that, but the academy system is also not to be shunned upon. You can get that chance to be in the academy from young. You learn so much from early. You learn how to speak to people. You learn how to be disciplined. You learn how to be from early. Because you're told to, otherwise you get let go. Like my age group that I was in under 11s, I was the only one that survived all the way to. So I've seen everyone. I see loads of players come. I see Ericsson come through under 14s, and we released. There's seen so many players come through, and so I had to learn how to not be close to too many people. Learn to friends are not friends. That kind of thing, these things you pick up, but when you're older, I picked that up. Come from France, the best player I've ever seen, come through, and then he's a French player and he's earning big money already. I'm on nothing, so I have to learn things that I have to deal with it emotionally. There's no guidance. You get on your own, just your mum and dad. So I will never regret my timing of coming through, but the players now have to preach so much more than what it was before.
Yeah, no, I hear that. I mean, that's like, it's like, I think that's, you broke it down like super well in terms of like when you're in academy, especially one like Chelsea, you have to understand real quick that like there's always someone else that can come in the next day.
There's someone else. My team, bro. My team, yeah. there's about 3 of us that
Has he frozen?
Yeah, he's frozen.
Oh, he froze.
pros.
No, he's back. He's back. He's back.
You're back.
Just looking at the Sahar scored a penalty in it. Yeah, no. From ends, there's about 4 or 5 players that came through, right? At Chelsea when I first signed. So they were my best friends straight away because we knew we had the same best, like we knew what we were like. But the rest, private schools, different background, parents, so to speak. So then moving into digs, living with parents that you don't know and feeding you fish fingers and waffles, like what is it? All new, innit? So to learn them things from young, I think me out, push through and a long career at so many different levels.
Yeah. And I guess one question, I think I asked you this as well. Have you always been a striker?
No, I've always been I've been predominantly left winger. So we used to play 4-3-3 at Chelsea, so when you're academy, you learn what the first team, right? So if the first team play 4-3-3 or 4-4-2 or 3-5-2, everyone has to identify a first team playing. You've got to try to copy straight or whatever you're good at. You're very good at that in the position that you're picked for. So every team played. We never played up front. We never played ball or the line. Cross the ball low. We played whatever the first team played. So it's 4-3-3. I always play LW left wing.
LW, yeah.
Play left wing predominantly. When I got to first team level, like striker, I'm like, bro, this is the first time I've had to go off for head my whole life. I had to deal with ball work, feet work, and take the man on or whatever. So I got older was the hard part, but I learned fast. You know, I've always been an attacker, but more of a winger than a.
Okay, say no more. I don't know if it's just my one, but I think the sound is breaking up sometimes. Is that doing it for you, Jelil?
Here and there, but I'm hearing most of it.
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe Frank, if you want to just check that quick.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
I'll turn the phone around or something.
Oh, is that what you think it is?
Yeah, I think it is.
Okay, say no more. Oh, that's calm. Yeah. So what left? So that's interesting. So when you say like, all right, when you talk about going back to the academy, right, and the training and everything,
yeah.
Because obviously Jelil might not attest this, but growing up as a youngster, when you're doing training for whatever team, you just want to get to the end where it's the game and you can do the game.
Yeah.
But when you're actually in academy, you actually have to appreciate the training. Have you always been actually able to appreciate training and getting better?
I've always enjoyed more the training before any small-sided games.
Oh, swear.
I enjoyed possession. Possession for me was like the best part of training. Small area or maybe big area, but 7v7 in there with maybe a floater as in the middleman, or I don't know. I like that feeling of maybe doing a 1-2 and then losing your man and getting it back and just making other people run. That feeling, I enjoy that feeling more as a youngster than I do now. Like a youngster, that's all I cared about, like keeping the ball. My team keep the ball, and then we'll talk about it in the changing room and banter each other about it. Like you couldn't get close to me and stuff like that. It wasn't about scoring a goal in a 5-a-side or winning that game. The winning team. It was more possession and working on in and out of cones, left foot, right foot, that kind of stuff was worked on quite a lot at Chelsea. And you start to appreciate it more because you do it every day.
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm older, I'm like, we're not doing the same things and everything is like points and we need to win the game on Saturday or Tuesday. I appreciate more now the small sided games now because you need to learn how to score goals or defend, block a shot and stuff like that. So them games now are more meaningful rather than when they were when I was younger.
Say no more. Jelil?
Yeah, so just at the academy, because we've got obviously a lot of younger viewers watching us and everything, and I always like to flip back so they can get a bit of an education. At your time at academy, what players would you looking at? What I mean, not obviously not from the team you support or at Chelsea or whatever, because you've seen them all the time, but what player would you say I base my game around him?
So when Didier come, Didier was strong, quick, very physical, and he had a great shot on him, right? So for us attacking players, it was him. For me personally, it was him. It was Robin. It was you had to take a bit of everyone. Adiga Johnson with his like close control. Then Anelka come, and everyone was like, "This guy's a joke. Like Anelka's a disgrace of a player. Like so good." Then Kalu come. He was like the young one coming off the bench and making an impact. So you had to try to take a bit of everyone. And obviously at the time, bro, these men weren't big stars to us because we could see them every day. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, cool. We played them on Pro Evolution. That's what the game was at the time. On Pro Evo. You play with them, but you don't appreciate how good they are until you leave. Or I don't know. As I got older, I appreciated seeing Frank Lampard running around with a bin bag around his top, like to sweat off whatever he's sweating off. Could be wine. God knows what he was doing, but he wanted to keep fit. Do you know what I'm saying? And he done it twice a week, so you appreciate that. And you see John Terry doing both-footed diagonals after training every day, and we used to sit there and watch him and think, why is this guy doing this? Like, but as you get older, you realize, oh, he's working on his game. So when it comes to Saturday or Tuesday, you're thinking, this guy's both-footed. People ask you, what's John Terry like? I'll tell you, he's both-footed. Everyone will be like, but he's dead, he's slow. I'm thinking, bro, have you ever seen John Terry get outpaced? There's a reason for these things, because they work on these things constantly every day. So one quote I took when I was younger, they say, you know, your weaknesses don't need to overwork on your weaknesses, but your good part of your game, overwork that. Make a good part even better than what it is yesterday. So make tomorrow your strong part better. So if you're a strong man, get stronger. Do you know what I'm saying? If you're quick, keep working your speed and your fast feet and stuff like that. If you've got great technique, find some more stuff you can do with the ball with your left and right foot. That's the kind of advice we were given as youngsters. And I think that runs true. If you look at Vardy now, Vardy's in the Prem, right? And he's relied on his pace and his anticipation to score goals, running in behind. How are you going to tell him now to be a man that can set the ball well and hold up the play and stuff like that? That's stuff that academy coaches will coach these kids, work on this, work on that, and then you get released because you're not good at this. Bro, just be good at what you're good at, first and foremost. Show that every day. If you play a game now, you're a strong man. How come you've not bullied someone today in that game? They were the things that I grew up on. So for me, it was pace and power, and I can get my shot off left foot or right foot as a youngster. So I just did that every game, bro. It got me into England teams. It got me to train with the first team from young. Like them kind of things stuck with me, and I think that's something youth players now will appreciate.
Yeah. What was that first training session like with the first team?
Oh, it was a joke, bro. Honestly. So like I said before, when you see them every day and we're ball boys for them every day. Like I was ball boy for 6 years every home game, right? I remember watching when Barcelona come down and Ronaldinho. First time I see Ronaldinho come, everyone's watching his warm up. He's just kicking the ball up in the air. You couldn't even see the ball. The ball's in the heavens. Come back down. He's controlling it. Everyone's looking. Okay, so this is real. This is not fake. Just saying. Then obviously done the toe pop goal, pass, bit check, all that, stadium quiet, like all that. The memories you keep with you. So now I'm watching them. I'm thinking, how do you let Ronaldinho do that to you? Why are you not going tight, Carvalho and them, man? Why are you not do like them kind of comments? You train with them. You realize the levels. They're quick. They're stronger than you. They anticipate everything. You're playing two touch in the possession sessions. Again, I love possession. You don't even get the ball. Everything is moving like 100 miles per hour, but they're in control of their thing. So for us, we learn. The first session was a learning experience. But what they used to do is, if they played Blackburn on the weekend or Arsenal or Tottenham, they'll bring us under 16s to come over and do shape. So we had to pretend to be the other team, and they will do their tactics for the game coming up. So I remember one session we did one, and our team was heavy with talent. Me, Kakuta, Jacob Mellis, Scott Sinclair, Jeffrey Bremer, Patrick Van Aanholt, like a lot of good players in that particular youth team, stroke reserve team. Fabio Birini, a couple of them, man. Liam Bridcut, a couple of people. When we were playing them in 11v11, Gael Kakuta has gone through. He's done a step of beat Paulo Ferreira. He's about to cross the ball, but because we know Gael likes some Megs in it. He likes to show up a little bit. So he's dragged it back. He's done a little stud roll and Megs Ferreira in it. So he's got stud roll, Megs Ferreira. we're all laughing, like, but we forgot where we were. We're laughing loud, like we're celebrating like it's a goal.
Yeah,
Or whatever. Ball gets, he dribbles a bit more. John Terry comes through, takes him out, tackle. It's a foul, but we were just happy that we saw one of our men do something to one of the first team players.
Yeah.
Bro, the assistant coach comes over and said, "This guy can't train with us no more. He's not trustworthy. Send him back to the academy HQ." Bro, from that day on, the next time we went to the first team, we kept it simple. We let them beat us. We let them do everything they wanted to do, just so they can prep for the game. And as I get older now, I understand that more. Because if I'm playing on the team that's playing on a Saturday, and the team that's not playing beats us, it doesn't work, can it? It's not a good feeling. Or a youngster comes over, he's nervous. I look at him, I go to him, "Don't worry, bro. This is your day. Showcase what you can do, because the first team manager is watching." But back then, it was ruthless. You couldn't do nothing to them, or they take you out. So it was a proper mental experience, but I loved it.
That's mad still. I remember that Kakura Don, he had hella hype, and he seemed a very technical player still. I'm surprised he never got back from at Chelsea, but
no, I think he made a couple of appearances for Chelsea, but he never really broke through. I think Josh McCracken was obviously with us. He made a couple of appearances. He was a talented boy, but no one really broke through. Obviously, 5 years, 6 years down the line, you see all the boys playing now, like the Tammy Abrahams. Tammy was in my brother's age as well, actually.
Yeah.
And Ruben Loftus-Cheek and, them boys there. So, no, I'm buzzing for the young boys. But, yeah, for us, it was a very ruthless time. And Chelsea was tough, bro. To make it through was tough. That's why I ended up moving to West Ham.
Yeah, say no more. I don't know if you want to take it from there to West Ham.
Just before West Ham, I always remember from speaking to people that's been at the Chelsea Academy, they always said they had the best group. They always had the best group when they used to play the local boys, West Ham, Spurs, everyone. Yeah. Would you say your group was one of the best?
My group. Yeah, we used to slap up all the teams in London. We slapped up Tottenham every year, 4 times a year. I think they had Andros Townsend, Ryan Mason, Bostock signed there from Palace.
Yeah, Bostock.
They had a good team, but I mean, our team, bro, we spent like $2 million on our squad every year. So our team wasn't all English players; it was full of foreign players as well. So we were a good team. So we used to beat all the teams. Arsenal was the only team that could touch us really, with the Jack Wilshers and J. Amanda Thomas and Jill Sanu and Craig Eastman, Kieran Gibbs. Like their Arsenal team was tough to play against, but we always made it to semi-finals or finals of the FA Youth Cup. And obviously, when I left a year after, I think they won the Youth Cup every year. Chelsea pretty much 3 or 4 times. So it was competitive back then. But then you learn that these things don't matter. It's only when you get to the first team that matters.
Yeah. So when you did eventually go to West Ham, first of all, like, how did that come about? Like, in terms of who approached you, how you knew it was the right time to move, and then obviously, like, I said this to you, like, when we were messaging, that I feel like your Premier League debut was against Arsenal.
My debut for West Ham.
For West Ham.
My debut start was against Arsenal. Yeah, so So I got offered a year scholar and 2-year pro at Chelsea. Yeah. Again, I was signed to a company called Base Soccer Agency, and I felt like a file. I didn't feel like it was personal to me, the person that was looking after me. So we went back and we said, look, can you tell them to give me an extra 2 more years, because no one's making it through at Chelsea at the minute. I don't want to be one of them players that plays reserve football until I'm 22, 23, without playing first team. I just wanted to play. Bro, I felt like I was ready. That last year I played first team. I trained first team quite a lot. I was even lucky to go to DJ's house on a couple of occasions and training with SEN, like Mikel, John Terry, like all them players, Frank Lampard, Ashley Cole. You think to yourself, they're great players and they're the best. But if I'm a youngster and I can do a little bit in training, like, give me a chance to be even closer rather than playing reserve football. I was playing reserve team football at under 15s. So it wasn't, I didn't feel like the step was too far away. But then Zola used to come in and train some of the strikers in the youth team every now and then, innit? So obviously I caught his eye, and he basically, we got an offer from West Ham to take me and go straight in the first team or be in and around it at least. So I took it. So obviously I turned down the Chelsea offer, which a lot of players, well, not a lot of players, no player did that, especially in my time. But I did it. Again, it was a risk. I just wanted to leave and play first team football as soon as possible. So yeah, I went to West Ham. Zola was there. And I have to be honest, when you're at Chelsea as a youngster, no other team in London is a big team to you. Do you understand? Yeah. So Crystal Palace, in your eyes, they're small boys. Spurs, small boys. Arsenal's probably the only team that you think, history-wise, they rival with us. Do you know what I'm saying? And their kit looks sick. Like, they're them things that you always thought Chelsea's the one. So I went to West Ham, and obviously West Ham as well, another team that we used to work every week from when I was under 11 to all the way to under 16. So when I went there, again, it was a shock. I'm thinking, I'm training the first team. I'm thinking, fucking hell, like, these players are good. Like, proper good. Like, Mark Noble, great player. Scott Parker, 7, 8 out of 10 every week. Carlton Cole, strong, physical, and can nick you a goal. Like, these players, they were seasoned pros. Do you know what I'm saying? And they've all had a similar path to you. When you're a youngster, you forget that these people have done it before you. Just like your parents, when your parents say, listen, I was young once. I was seeing what you're doing now. You're lying to me to go link a girl. I've done it before. So, like, these things, they hit you home as soon as reality hits. Like, okay, I'm a good player, but now I'm with players that have done it for 10, 12 years. Like, I'm a small boy in this thing. So you're from the bottom. So, it was a reality shock. But then, I worked hard and I got a chance to start a game against Arsenal. I remember I went to go get a haircut, I put a slit in my eyebrow, everything. I said, no, this game, I'm going to do something today, hopefully. I was 17 or maybe just turned 18. And we played Arsenal in the FA Cup. William Gallas and Van Marlin are the centre-backs. I'm playing up front on my own. I saw Gallas, I said to myself, nah, I'm actually playing against Gallas. Like, so first 10 minutes I was doing well, running down the line, bullying them a little bit, getting a few corners. The crowd are buzzing. I'm thinking, you lot, I guess happy because I got corners. But when I was a youngster, if I didn't get 5 shots off in the first half, my manager's killing me. Do you know what I mean? So just a new adaptation again that you got to get used to. Upton Park is rocking, bro. So we got through. Diamante goes through 1-on-1. I'm next to him. He could have slide the ball into me so I can get a tap in, but he didn't. We scored. I celebrated that goal like it was my goal. So 1-0 up, and then I think we were drawing 1-1, and I come off about an hour played. I was tired. I run my socks off. I think Zavon Hines come on for me. And then they brought on Fabregas and Carlos Vela. And then they scored. But while I was on the bench, it was 1-1. I was thinking to myself, we're going back to the Emirates. I can't believe I'm going to go to the Emirates. But then they scored. But I didn't care. I'm just happy that I played. My family was in the crowd. And it's the best experience ever. And then obviously I made my Prem debut against Aston Villa on TV. So that was sick as well.
No, that's sick. I mean, obviously Joel, when he was here with us, he spoke about that day a lot as well, about how sick it was being in the box, seeing you out on the pitch. And like I remember from my younger brother who was boys with Joel at that time, saying Frank had signed for West Ham. I was a huge Arsenal fan, so I watched every game. But seeing you that game, I was like, gee, let's see what he's saying. And that's what I always say. Like, you gave Gallas that single step over.
Yeah, bro. Oh my days.
I was like, oh, okay, man, like Frank.
Honestly, bro, it's the best experience ever, man. And you know, things is all about. So, when you ask people what was your debut like, or when you do something on the football field, sometimes people can't recount exactly what happened. Because for me, that whole 60 minutes, or however long I played, was a blur, bro. Honestly, everything was like, it went for a minute, and then I came back into the box and see my family. Everyone's like, "Listen, well done, we're proud of you." I'm like, "Nah, man, I want to rerun that, man. I want to do something else." You know but great experience, bro.
Sick. Good on, Jelil.
Yeah, man. What was the transition like in terms of going from Chelsea to West Ham? Because you hardly ever see that, and I know there's a rivalry there. They don't just let you good players just go to the other team. Do you know what I mean? Did that have a fat effect on Joel as well, do you think? I think
it did. Definitely did. Yeah, definitely had an effect on him. At the time, we tried to blank that out. Again, it was only me and my dad that were supporting my footballing decisions, really. We left it at the agency that I had, and we had an agent that we got close to over the years, but it was just me and my dad making them decisions. And I used to hear stories. My brother would come back and say, "Oh, like this coach is saying this to me and stuff like that." I'm thinking to myself, "What is all this like?" This is never the case. My brother was doing well throughout the Chelsea age groups, and he was in a good team. But he was one of the good players. And eventually, obviously, they let him go, and he was devastated. I was devastated for him, but I knew it's because I left. I knew majority of it is because I left. So I always say to him, or in my head, I always say, you know, if I'd stayed at Chelsea, maybe he would have had a different future at Chelsea, let's say. But again, football is football, and again, it's all about timing. You know, you just got to be in the right place at the right time. If that wasn't the case for us at Chelsea, then we moved on. We move on. You know, in this life, you can't have regrets, man. It's hard to have regrets because you can't move past it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. No, he definitely got the knock-on effects from it, but you know, he's now, you know, on the bench against Rangers. Who's to say he would have done that if he stayed at Chelsea anyway? So we don't know what God has in store for everyone.
Facts.
No, I agree. Exactly. And like, obviously, you know, that when that decision came, like, you made a decision based on, I want to play.
Yeah.
I'm ready to play, and I'm not sure it's going to happen if I stay at Chelsea. So,
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? So, in terms of West Ham, like, because I think you were there for one season before you went out on loan.
Yeah.
To West Brom, I think.
Yeah,
like,
West Brom, yeah.
Why do you feel like it didn't quite, like, I do think there's an element that at the time you were coming through, it was harder for youngsters. I do.
Yeah, it was harder.
Like so do you feel like that was why, like, because obviously West Ham, a bit of a, not toxic team, but topsy-turvy in the sense that the fans can get on your back real quick. So do you feel like that played an impact? Like, why do you feel like things didn't exactly work out?
No, you always have to look at yourself. Like, I always, for me, reason why my career, even currently now, I've played for a lot of clubs is because I can't sit still. Like, I want to play football, right? So I think that epitomizes on the decision that I left Chelsea to go West Ham. It just shows you that I'm hungry to go play. And bro, I went on loan in the first. I'm sure it was the first season at West Ham. I went on loan to West Brom because Zola knew Martinez, right? Martinez was the manager at West Brom, or Di Matteo. I don't know which one it was.
I think it was Di Matteo.
Yeah, Di Matteo. Sorry, yeah, Chelsea connection.
Yeah.
And Eddie Newton was assistant. So Eddie Newton was my under 13s coach at Chelsea. So there was a connection there. I went on loan, but again, it weren't because I wasn't doing well at West Ham. It's because I wanted to play football immediately. Do you know what I mean? Now, if you give me a taste of West Ham, Arsenal, at home in a cup, and Aston Villa, and now the first team players are fully fit. Now I'm on the bench. Bro, I should have been happy to be on the bench and just learn and take them experiences. But again, I had no one to tell me, Frank, stay. Keep working on your game, progress, bro. You're only 18. Why do you think that you need to be playing first team football now? It wasn't that. It was me. I would knock on the door of Franco, say, boss, I need to play football. Like, how far am I from getting a chance? Whatever. And he would look at me and smile and say, Frank, man, I love your hunger, but you're 18. what do you want? But I never looked at myself as 18. I looked at myself like, nah, boss, I need to play. Cool. Then he sent me out on loan. Again, the question prior to this was, how was it adapting? It was difficult because, like I said, I never learned how to get a long ball and head it into the right direction for someone when I was at Chelsea. But West Ham, when I came off the bench in the Prem games, that's what I needed to do. Work hard, but challenge for aerial balls. Maybe 6 or 7 balls in the space of 2 minutes. Bro, that's more headers that I need to header than I've done my whole academy at Chelsea.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So that adaptation, people don't see that. They only see you on Saturday and go, oh, he's not good. He can't header the ball. Or he's not that, whatever. And bro, first of all, go to 1 year prior. Do you know what I'm saying? We're playing Barcelona. I'm ripping Barcelona to shreds. And I'm playing in the Euros with England. And I've not headed the ball once. We're going to the semi-final. But now I'm coming to the Prem. And I've got to fight with people like Nzonzi in midfield for a header. The guy's been doing it for 7 years. Do you know what I mean? I've never done that. So, it's tough to adapt. But I also know that if I stayed at West Ham and not chose to go on loan, because the loan moves were all decided by me. I chose to go on loan.
Okay.
They never asked me to go on loan. They said, just stay with us and train first team and learn the game and appreciate what the boys are doing every week, which I did. But I was too hungry. I was like, let me go. And I was young and a bit foolish as well. So maybe that's why my time at West Ham weren't as successful as it should have been. But it was never because they told me to leave. The only time they told me to leave is when Big Sam came in my last year, my third year, after flipping 8 loans. I went to Barnsley, I went to Gillingham, I went to West Brom, went to Charlton. Like some of them were good loans, some of them weren't great. Then Big Sam came. We got relegated to the Championship. He gave me a game, and then he said to me, "Look, you, Freddie Sears, Zavon Hines, Junior Stanislas, you're not going to play for me. We need to get promoted now, like right now. I'm not playing no youngsters. Obviously, I'm 20 years old now, 19, 20. He's like, you need to go find a new club or go and learn and showcase your talents." And that hit home, man. That really hurt. I think to myself, first of all, I had 3 managers in 3 years as a youngster, no guidance. I had to learn the hard way. The only way I learned was to train hard when I trained, and then I went out with the first team players. So I'd go out to central London on a Saturday when I was 18, 19 and see Ashley Cole in the club. Do you know what I mean? I'm thinking to myself, wow, is this what the first team men are doing? So do you know what I mean? Let me call my boys. So my group of boys used to go out a lot as well. So you're naive because you don't know what's right or what's wrong.
Yeah.
There's no social media as well to catch you as well. Do you know what I'm saying? Whereas now, do you know what I'm saying? These men are going to Dubai. If they've not scored in 5 games, they're getting blasted.
Yeah.
Right? Whereas back then it weren't like that. It would just be opinions. So if the manager thought you were doing this or doing that, they'll make their opinions and it was done. So no, back then it was a good time, but it was something that you need to learn quickly on your own. And when you're young, you need some guidance for sure.
Yeah, and I guess that conversation that you had with Big Sam, like, because obviously we hear about these type of conversation, but the detail never really comes out. Like, how did he approach you? Was it just a case of Frank coming to
Big Sam was a bit scary because he's Big Sam and his name's Big Sam, so you always think he's got a persona and whatever. But he was actually a nice guy. He was cool. He just said that he pulled us all us youngsters. They even tried to sell me and Freddie Sears to the same team, Blackpool, in a deal. And I was thinking to myself, first of all, he hasn't even spoke to me, and he's put me in a deal to go to Blackpool. But then he pulled us and said, "Look, you're not going to play, blah, blah, blah." So Freddie Sears went to Crystal Palace, he left. And then I stayed. I said, you know what, I'm going to go out and learn. I'm going to prove to this man that I'm ready to, play first team. And I did. And then I came back on loan from Gillingham. And he played me in a game and I scored. The first game I came back was Derby, my only goal for West Ham. I scored. And then the next week, I was out the team, out the squad fully. So I was frustrated. So I remember Christmas, I met him up. We met up in his office. He wanted to see every player before they left. I said, yeah, I'm going. Thanks. Merry Christmas, sorry. Have a good time with your family. He's like, yeah, where are you going? I said, I'm going to my mum. My mum is making some food for Christmas. And he was like, oh, okay. I was thinking to myself, well, where else do you think I'm going? Am I going to Dubai or something? I'm not going to my mum's. So I left. But the thing with his office, right, there was a door for his front door of his office, but there's another door to leave the actual whole building of his porter cabin office, right? That door was locked. So then he kept on speaking, so I could hear what he was saying. He was like, oh, these youth players of today, they don't want to do the extra bit. They don't want to work hard. This is why he would never make it. I'm hearing that, and I'm turning the knob. The knob is not opening, so I think, get me out of it, like, because I can hear him talking about me. But then I heard that full quote. The assistant was there as well, and the assistant could see me struggling to get out, and he's gone, FNL, like, Noobs is still at the door. Then obviously I turned around, I was like, oh yeah, this door's locked, can you open the door please? So they opened the door, and I left with like a disdain in my taste buds. I was thinking, like, this is not a guy that I want to run through a brick wall for. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm a youngster, tell me to my face how you feel. Do you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, he's under pressure. He needs to get West Ham, a massive club, out of the Championship. He's probably not thinking about me on small wages compared to the big names that were there. We had people like John Carew there. We had people like Julian Faubert, like all these players. You need to get them promoted. So yeah, it was a harsh reality check to me. But at the same time, I kept that with me, and it stuck with me as I've got older and met other managers. That I always want to showcase that I have got a great attitude. I want to showcase that I want to work hard, but sometimes you don't know how to show it. So I learned that in the hard way. But yeah, that's what the interaction with Big Sam was like. Not many, but very memorable.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I have to admire something, because obviously you're the oldest. You haven't really got anyone to be like, yo, what should I do? Or you can just have your mates. Your mates are all doing the other thing, kicking balls. Do you know what I mean? And that, so it's quite hard to reach out to them because they've got their head in the game and everything. Yeah. That's what I always think about the players of today. And when you look at people coming through the game late, like I think Didier came through a bit late. Vardy came through to that top level and stuff. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you was at the, if you saw that today, you would think, I could kick ball. You know, I don't need to keep many different loans. But I'm happy that someone like you just kept going from loan to loan to loan and learning and seeing, okay, I'm gonna get there someday. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, of course. Yeah.
And just done nothing. Do you know what I mean?
No, of course, mate. And you know what? Like, again, football is crazy. All them loans, one of them could have, really done me good, and I could be playing for Liverpool now instead of being at Colchester now, for example. But I would never know unless I went out there and I chased it. Or I could be a player that's, non-existent. You see players that leave Chelsea and then they go to non-league and then you never hear about them again when they've left at 22, 23. It happens so many times. So I didn't want to be one of many. I wanted to make sure that, one, I'll be remembered, and two, I'm going to keep trying because I've got the talent. And another thing, the teams that take me on, they take me on for a reason. So I can never look at it as a bad thing. I can always say, look, they obviously see something in me and they think I can do my thing. It's now down to me to go out there and produce. Do you know what I mean? Football is crazy, bro. Listen, I went alone to Swansea. Brendan Rodgers was manager. Avram Grant was the first team manager at Chelsea. So I went there for a month, had a great time. Team was getting promoted. We're in the top 3. But Avram Grant called me back because all the strikers were injured at West Ham. So I come back and Brendan Rodgers was like, listen, if you go back, you should stay here because I'm going to be a big manager in this game. I can see it. And I'm going to get to the Prem with Swansea and I'll sign you on the permanent. And I was like, it sounds great. But obviously, again, you're young, so you think it's the championship. I'm in a Prem team. Like, you can't really sway me with a Swansea talk. So I went back to West Ham. And the first game was Liverpool away, so I was on the bench. I was thinking, why have I come back to be on the bench? West Ham struggling. I sat on the bench. I'm seeing Steven Gerrard spray the ball everywhere. We lost the game 3-0. That year we got relegated. Swansea went up to the Prem.
Yeah.
Fabio Barini, my boy at Chelsea, we used to score 20 goals each in the youth team. He went on loan to Swansea, scored a free kick for them in the final, and then got his move to Liverpool when Brendan went to Liverpool. Do you know what I'm saying? It's all mad, things like that. So unless you put yourself in the position to do well, you will never know. So that's why I always chose to just keep going and keep pushing for different teams if possible, or stay at a team where I'm successful. Yeah.
So after the West Ham move, and I think you spent 2 years on loan at Gillingham, right?
Yeah. After West Ham.
Yeah, after West Ham. Yeah.
I went to Wolves first, and then Ipswich.
Okay, cool. So where was it, when would you say you kind of settled into a team, or you really started to say, you know what, I'm getting into my rhythm again?
Yeah, Ipswich. Yeah, so I left West Ham and I went to Wolves. I signed a 2-year deal there with Mick McCarthy, but Mick McCarthy got sacked just before I signed. So the deal was still there. I was like, there's not many teams that are dying to take me off, especially when I've not played, proper first team for a year at West Ham. It was like, do I take that or do I go to a League One team? So I went to Wolves. Wolves were in the Championship.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a terrible 6 months. The manager didn't even look at me in training or anything like that. He had a lot of big names there. Kevin Doyle, Ebax Blake was the strikers there. They had a great team, especially for Championship. But he never looked at me. But the assistant was Terry Connors, right? As a black guy that was assistant manager to Mick McCarthy. So he was still there at Wolves, and he left to go to Ipswich in January. He was like, Frank, I'm taking you with me. I have to. Can't let you stay here and not play. I'm taking you with me. So I went with him to Ipswich, and Mick McCarthy was already there. And I settled in like a house on fire, bro. Honestly, Mick McCarthy, best manager I've had. Honest. It's like a father figure type manager. And I think that's something I always needed in my whole career. I think other than Gianfranco Zola, he's the one that really took me under his wing and said, look, you're not playing today because you're doing this and you're doing that. You need to do this. You're playing now because you're doing this and that. That's all you need. A lot of footballers, we just need clarity. I think in life, when you have a boss or a manager, you just want to know exactly where you stand, be it bad or good. So yeah, I was there for 2.5 years. I was there for 3 years, but I stayed there for 2.5 years. But the first 2 years, I played a lot of games off the bench and started 1 year. I started 40 games in a row, 35 games in a row in the Championship.
Wow.
20, 21, 20. So it was great for me. I really enjoyed it. We're pushing for playoffs. and it was sick, man. Really enjoyed it, man. Really enjoyed it. But obviously that ended, and then I went to China.
Yeah. Did you ever manage to get a goal against Norwich in them
No, I
dark?
didn't know. And I only played in one of them games. Every time we played them, I got injured.
Ah,
Or I had a niggle or something. But one game we played them, and that game was crazy. Norwich always beat us, though.
yeah.
Always beat us, yeah. Always beat us, man. But yeah, Norwich had a good team. To be fair, Norwich, you see it now, innit? They always do well in the Championship. They always have a good team for Championship.
Yo team, innit?
Yeah, Premier League they struggle, but Champ, they're too good for Champ.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, man, China. Like tell me, like how did that come about? Obviously, after playing at Ipswich. Tell me, man, tell me.
China, I went on holiday to Mexico with my partner. We were there for 2 weeks, and my friends come over a week later. So my holiday I was meant to be in Mexico for a month. Then my agent at the time, he called me, said, "Bro, I've got a team for you in China." I was like, "Well," and I signed it for Coventry. So that year, I left Ipswich halfway through the year, and I went to Coventry on loan. First game back at the Rico, I scored at the Rico, so I loved it at Coventry. James Maddison was coming through. He played with us, and he done his thing. He was like 16, 17. He was a joke of a player. So I thought I'll go back there with Tony Murphy, a manager, and have a good year in League One with that team. But then China shout came. Is like, listen, the stadium holds 60,000, man. They sell it out every week. The money's good in comparison to a League One offer. But they want you to fly over there and have a look. Obviously, I'm in Mexico, and I've had a few cocktails, and I'm in a good mood, innit? So I'm like, you know what? Let's go out there. Let's fly out there. Let's see what it's saying over there. So I went out there, and bro, I was blown away with how the club was. It's like in England, you're used to the ladders of League One, League Two, Prem, whatever, and you know who the big teams are. But when you go to a new country, you don't know who's a big team. You don't know who's what's big. For me, the team that I went to, bro, they had 60,000 seater stadium, and it was packed out. Training ground was sick. The boss, the owner, was rich. Like there's not many more points you need to be sold for a club. The other thing was obviously it's in China. I've never played anywhere outside of England, so that was the only stumbling block. But they kind of put me in a room and said, "Look, this is the deal. If you don't sign it today, you're not signing for us." So I had to decide there and then. So I called everyone at home. I said, "Mom, Dad, like, what do you think?" And my mum was like, "Bro, do you actually want to be in China? Do you know what they do to foreigners in China?" I was like, "Mum, stop talking like that." Stop talking like that. I'm safe, man. I'm cool. He said, "Yeah, don't forget that you're black. You're a black man in China. Like, you're gonna be someone that people always look at you. You stand out and that kind of stuff." So, but yeah, after we had a little joke about it, she knew that I was kind of serious with maybe taking my opportunity. And I'm 24 years old. I wanted to try something new. Again, what 24-year-old you see out there that's gonna go leave, I don't know, a champ team or a League One team and go to abroad? Not many. So I thought, you know what? Again, I just wanted to play football and I wanted to be loved. So yeah, I went out there and I was loved, and yeah, it was just a mad experience, man, honestly.
How long did you play in China?
So I went there for a 2-year deal. First 6 months I played like 15 games, scored a couple of goals or 3-4 goals, and we stayed up. Our team was actually struggling, so we stayed up. Then the manager got sacked. And the thing with China, you get three foreigners that can play in each team, right?
Yes, there's a limit, yeah.
Yeah, and the rest have got to be Chinese players or born in China. So which I like. I like the concept of it because it raises the Chinese level of player. They can play at the top league and it gives them a chance for their national team to be successful. Great idea. But the new manager came in, he said, "I'm signing Ronaldinho, I'm signing Pato, and I'm signing Fabinho." Fabinho was a striker at Seville. So obviously I'm sitting there thinking, well, I'm looking at my CV. My CV is Ipswich, Coventry. I'm thinking, I can't compete with these men. So what am I going to do? And the other 2 foreigners who were in my team, their contracts had ended. So I was the only one that my contract was live. So new manager was like, which I understand. He wants to bring in his own man. You only get free, so he's got to make the best of it. He said, you can either train with us every day and be on the bench, or you're going to have to leave. So I said, I ain't going nowhere unless I get paid. And they didn't want to pay me up. So I had to stay there. So basically what I did was I played pool, I played table tennis. That's why I'm so sick at table tennis now, but I was out there for 3 months. And I was playing these Chinese men every day, and I made friends over there. I was living the best life in Beijing and Shanghai. It was a joke of a living. And then a team came and said they'll take me on loan. So I thought, all right, I'll go there. Luis Figo was the owner of this club.
Right.
So I met Luis Figo and I thought, oh, this is fantastic. Like, nice to meet you, Luis, whatever, big legend. I'm looking forward to sign for your team. Went there, signed the papers and came back from pre-season, came back home. I had 2 weeks holiday to come home and then start for the season. As I'm in England, Luis Figo sold the club. He said he doesn't want to be there no more. New owner comes in and he chooses 3 different foreigners, from one African player and one Brazilian player and someone else. So then that loan was dead. So I think to myself, what luck have I got in this world, bro?
Yeah,
like,
this is mad.
So do I go back or do I stay in England and just, take my losses and, miss another 7 months of payment from China? But I said, you know what, I'm going to go there and grind it out. So I went there and I lived in Beijing and I just stayed for 7 months. No football.
Okay.
No football, bro. I was just putting on weight, drinking beer, playing pool, playing table tennis every day, going to every restaurant, going to Shanghai to visit, going to Hong Kong to visit, training. I trained every day though. I trained 5 days a week at 3:00 in the afternoon, and then the rest was just living my life basically.
Did you move your family out there?
Yeah, so my partner come with me the first 6 months of the time, at the first club, and then she fell pregnant. So we said we're gonna have the kid in England.
Yeah.
We want the NHS to be supervisors, rather than a country that's provided us with COVID. So,
hey, don't get us banned, Frank.
sorry, man. Sorry. Everything I say is my words. Everything I say is my words. So allegedly.
Allegedly.
So that she came back to England, and that's why she wasn't with me. So the 7 months, I missed all 7 months of pregnancy, and I came back obviously on the 8th month, having grinded it out and got all my money paid to me every month. That's why I stayed. I had to get paid every month.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I couldn't get my money. So I stayed, and then I came back, and my little one was born 3 days of my arrival back in England. So it was a crazy timing. Yeah, and then I came back. I was 107 kg. I'm normally 92 kg, 93 kg.
Whoa.
So I came back 107. I didn't physically look it, but I was it. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, it was crazy. And then I signed for Gillingham. Lucky enough, as soon as I landed, Jay and Thomas gave me a call. He's like, bro, we need an attacker, so come here. So I signed for them, man. So that's how I got lucky to come back into the English game quite quickly.
Yeah.
The League One team. But my name kind of held some weight still when I came back, which I was lucky enough to do and have. So yeah, that was China in a nutshell.
It's a mad thing. I don't know if you're going to come in there, Jelil, man. That was a mad thing.
I wanted to ask, obviously, because you said he had a child. So, in regards to having a child, how did that have an effect on your life in terms of playing football? Was it spent 7 months out in Beijing?
Yeah.
Continue to try and go abroad and play football, or am I going to try and smash up football here?
Yeah, no, having a child, obviously, in my mind, I already knew coming back to England was going to be the be all end all. Basically, I'm going to stay in England, be a father to the little one, and try and make a living again back in England. That was the only thinking. It's just a tough barrier of getting out of China. So eventually, when I did come out of there and come here, land on my feet and sign for Gillingham, it was great. Then I just knew, again, just put up my career or my profile again in England, and just stay here and just be a father. And then obviously having the first one, we had a second one after a year, so we have 2 kids now that are 5 and 3.5, so they're quite close in age.
That's sick.
So I've been there obviously ever since. So there's been options to go abroad again, but while they're young like this, it's been hard to maneuver. So in our minds, we just been like, look, we're going to be here. If football takes me abroad again in the future, it takes me there. But for now, we choose to be here.
Yeah, because then after Gillingham, didn't you go in Newport?
Yeah.
Killed there, and then you killed it somewhere else straight after Newport as well.
Yeah, no. Well, I went to where did I went to Southend. Went to Southend with Now Ranger and all them boys, Anton Ferdinand. On a great team. We just missed out on playoffs, and I went to Newport. I signed there for a year. So, bro, I went to Newport. Lowest money I've ever been on in my career. No team really wanted to sign me, sort of thing. Or wanted to, but they wanted me to be.
What age?
Pardon?
What age?
24, 25. Yeah, 25. 25.
Okay.
I went to Newport. Yeah, obviously, just because I've been in China, everyone, they don't believe the hype when you're in China. They're like, well, China's not a good level. Or they look down upon it.
They look down upon me, yeah.
Yeah. So, I went to Newport and have a little one. And it was tough living off the field, really, where we lived and whatever. But then it was one of my best experiences in football on the field. Had a great manager, Michael Flynn, and Newport. I never thought in my life, wildest dreams, that I played for a team called Newport. But, and being Wales, and I didn't even know there was a team that was Welsh that was in the football division in England. So when it came up, the manager gassed me up and said, "Look, I'm going to make you my main man, number 10, everything." Like, I said, you know what? Beggars can't be choosers. Let me go there and take my opportunity. And I did. We had a great year. We played Spurs in the cup. We got a replay with them. Plus, I played at Wembley with them. We beat Leeds in the cup. Like, we had a great, unbelievable year, basically. Just missed out on playoffs, but fantastic year. Then I went to Colchester.
You did well at Colchester as well, isn't it?
Yeah. So my first 2 years at Colchester were again carrying on from Newport. I'm now 26, 27, having great 2 years again at Colchester, scoring goals, playing out wide, getting assists. Our team is playoff 1 year, miss out on playoffs. We got to the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, played Man United. Yeah. We beat Spurs in that year. We beat Crystal Palace. But that's okay. It was great, man. At Colchester the first 2 years. So, and I'm still here now, obviously. But great club, and obviously I want us to push on, really.
That's sick. I mean, I guess we wanted to rattle through and ask you some quick fire questions before we
no problem.
wrap it up. I guess one of the questions that I had, and obviously Jelil, after mine, just feel free to come in, is how do you judge yourself at the end of a game to know if I've had a good game or had a bad game? Like, is it one of them ones where if you've scored a goal, you come off and you know what, at least I scored a goal, or you can still be like, damn, I kind of played dead today, but at least I got a goal?
No, I've never been a man that's, if I score a goal, that's my game. I've done something in that game. I'm always been me. After every game, I will always have a teammate that I have that's close to me, and we'll just run through the game on the phone for an hour. Like, so do you remember when this happened? Or like, this guy's got to do better. Or I should have done this better, or whatever. Yeah. So I'm a man. I'm a visual man. I'm an eye test guy. I've never been a stat man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've never scored loads of goals in my career at a club anyway. But it's not because I don't want to. It's because I see everything else. So if I've linked up the play well all game, I'll see that as 2 goals. If I do that, then my team scored 2 goals, rather than me being a poacher and scoring a goal or whatever. I know some players live off that, and I love to have them as my teammate, but that's just never been me. So, I'm more eye test guy and how it feels. That's why I hark back to possession. I love possession games because I know if my team's popping it, I'm winning that game, regardless of who scores. Do you know what I mean? Even in 5-0 games, my team, if you're my team, and you're left back or centre back or centre mid, bro, I'm getting you 2 or 3 goals in that game because I've held someone off and I've shimmied it and I've set you nice. You just need to finish it. I mean, that's the type of player I've always been. So I'm very unselfish, which has sometimes been to my detriment. But yeah, that's just me. That's how I see things. So how I know I've played a good game is if I bully someone, I've bullied my centre half all game or my full back, or I've taken him on and he can't stop a cross. That's me going home saying, I've done my thing today. Do you know what I mean? So that's how I see things. Everyone can see it differently, but you need to know what is a good game in your eyes and your coach's mind. Otherwise, you could be deluded. You know, a lot of players out there think they've played well to themselves, but their manager disagrees, and obviously supporters disagree. So you need to find the balance where at least one of them agrees with you. So then you got 2 out of 3, your opinion, crowd opinion, or the club opinion, and your manager. You need to get 2 out of 3 there to know that you're gonna have a successful career.
Yeah, no worries. You know.
Yeah, top 3 players you've ever played with.
Top 3 players I've played with. I'll say I'm going to go for the consistency. So I'm not going to go for ability. I think ability. It's hard to say ability because I played the reserve team with charisma. He's had the most ability I've ever seen a player have.
You play with charisma.
Yeah, in the reserve team. Yeah, in the reserve team at Chelsea for 6 months. I was with him, and he was a disgrace. Okay, I'll say a guy called Aaron Creswell. He played for West Ham now. He was at Ipswich with us. The guy never missed a game for 3 years, not one game. Nice. And he's a good player. Obviously, he's showing that now. He's been there I think he's been at West Ham now for 6 years or something, like 7 years.
Yeah,
So,
wow.
yeah, he's doing his thing. Another one, Scott Parker, always at 7, 8 out of 10. Mr. Consistent, he was called, him. And thirdly, I'll say David McGoldrick, who's at Sheffield United.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's up there. Yeah, we call him the GOAT, man. He's the guy, man. He wears black boots and he's just a good player, man. He's another one. He's a possession type man. Keep the ball type man. And I like them players. I mean, training players, we know who the GOAT is. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's one of them, man. I always appreciate. And at Ipswich, to be fair, he had a couple of years where he scored 20 goals plus. So yeah, he's up there.
Yeah, and I guess bouncing off that question, then, do you have like one game or like one defender that you went up against that, like when you walked off that pitch, you remember thinking he had no chance today, no matter how he was doing it. I was just smoking today. Yeah,
I tried everything I could against Wes Morgan, centre back at Leicester. This is the year they went up to the Prem. They had Mahrez, Vardy. It's the first time I met Vardy and Mahrez, and I thought, what kind of species are these players like? I've never seen someone that slim, and run fast and trickery and strong and just unbelievable players. But anyway, I'm playing against Wes Morgan. I tried everything: step over and knock, run. He put his arm in my neck. I fell backwards. I said, all right, cool. Let me try. I said, all right, let me try this one. Show to feet, but running behind. The guy's like, he's stride for stride, he's with me. Header in, forget about header in. The guy will barge you before you headed the ball, so you could even get there. So yeah, I tried everything on him, and I couldn't get anything out of him. Where's Morgan? Championship year, and he went to the Prem, and obviously a year after that they won the league, didn't they? So that tells you a lot about that team. So yeah, he was the toughest one-on-one duel I've had in a game. It was him.
Okay, cool.
Off that, that's quite interesting. Top 3 players you played against.
Fernando Torres, he scored a hat-trick against us, or 2 goals for Liverpool against West Ham. I was on the bench, but I come on that game, and he chopped up Tompkins 3 times or 4 times, scored a goal. And I've never seen, every chop he did, I was like, ooh. Like, you feel the chop like in your bones. I felt the chop. Yeah. So he was one of them, Fernando Torres. Another, I'm going to go on actual performance on the day, not the actual player. So performance on the day. Tom Huddleston played for Spurs. He done a left foot half volley, like slice. I said to bro, I went home and I told everyone. I said, bro, I've never seen someone pass the ball like this guy. Never.
It was a joke.
He's a certified baller in midfield. So him, Spurs, and who else? I'm gonna try to look for one.
Players. I mean,
nah. I'm gonna go. Lucas Moura. We played him in the cup when I was at Newport and at Colchester. I played him year after year, so played him 2 years in a row. Spurs in the cup. Lucky enough, I don't know how we drew them both. But played them one, and we beat them one time, and we lost to them. But Lucas Moura, ball come into him, and he flicked it like outside of his boot to flick over the defender's head behind him and run onto it and got an assist. But he was the sharpest player He's the sharpest player I've played against live, like physically saw. Like he's the quickest, like in tight spaces, and yeah, he's uncontrollable. So on that day he was the best. So them 3.
Say no more. All right, cool. Biggest high of your career, and biggest low, if you can say it like that.
Biggest high will always be my debut. Making my dreams a reality. Like I said before, when I was a youngster, as a kid, my dreams would never match my reality. So it would never be, I want to be in the Prem or I want to be a footballer. I didn't see that, but of course I dreamt that I could be on TV one day. But but as I got older, they got closer, them dreams and realities to me. So I always say my debut in the Prem, playing against Aston Villa, I got man of the match. I even got a 30-second clip from Alan Shearer and them lot speaking about me, saying that this young boy has done his thing and, you know, hopefully he can have a bright future at West Ham or whatever. I played well. I played against Richard Dunn and Collins, Ginger. We call him Ginge, centre back. So that would be my highest high alongside my kids. My lowest low, I would say. You know what? I can't even give you a lowest low. I can't give you one. I've been touched with it.
It doesn't have to be football.
Okay, lowest low in general. Bro, honestly, I'm the most black and white guy. Like, there's not many things that I find low. For me, if something's bad, then I just say we need to do this next. So, lowest low is probably my little brother Joe that you spoke to when he had an injury. He had an injury for a year and a bit. That kind of broke my heart a little bit because I always wanted him to be doing much more than me or whatever I've ever accomplished. I can humbly say that, no problem. I want him to do better than me, and he's still got a chance to be even much further than what I've done, hopefully. So yeah, that was a low for me personally because I want him to do well. But for me personally, in football, I've been outside of football. Losing a friend, it was a low, but I was only 15, so it's only older now you realize how that might have hurt you and impacted you. But for me, I was so narrow-minded, boys, that football is the only low I can get, and in that low, I got next week to improve on it. So, yeah.
There's always tomorrow.
Trust me.
Especially with football. Roger, though?
I always watch these and I always look at football players, and there's always this question that I love asking and I love hearing the answer to.
Yeah.
If not football, what would you be doing?
Great question. Great question, and you're not going to get a clear answer from me because I don't know. I don't know what I'll be doing. All I know is that Pardon?
Table tennis?
Probably table tennis. Probably table tennis. Nah, you know what? Because what am I now? I just turned 30 now. So what am I? 12, 13 years as a pro. And from 8 years old, I've given over 20 years to this game, or 20 years to this game. I'm not going to come out of this game easily. I'm going to try to be a coach, try to be some sort of director of football somewhere, or an agent or whatever. I'm going to use all my connections and all my experience in this game to give back and use it for my past playing career. How could I waste all that to now say I'm not interested? That's another thing. When you ask me that question, I always think about when I ask other players in my team, what do you want to do after football? Most of them are like, the minute I'm done football, I'm getting away from this. I don't want to be anywhere near it. It's long. Whereas for me, it's like, bro, you've been running channels for 10 years. Now you don't want the league, the game to pay you back in work. Like, surely not. So for me, I want to go back into football and stay in it. So hopefully I can have a friend somewhere that I've played with, become a manager, be an assistant, or even me, take a role up somewhere. Don't care if it's step 4, step 5, or national league team or whatever. I want to be involved in football.
That's good, man.
Yeah, that's sick. And obviously, like, there's always talk about needing more black people involved in the game after they leave the game. So I think that you've got that ambition. Hopefully you can use your links that you do have, the knowledge that you have about the game, to like still make an impact in it, not only to benefit yourself in terms of for your family, but also, other people can look at you and say, Frank did his thing in the playing career, but did his thing after playing career as well.
I want to meet someone like me. So I want to meet someone like me and help guide them as well. Just give them some more advice that I didn't have. So if I could do that to one player, hopefully I can do it to 20 players, 50, 100. Exactly. Over the years, I want someone to say, I spoke to Frank before I signed here, I went there. That would be nice. That would be a nice feeling. And
obviously, like, we've looked a bit into like the long term, but in terms of personal ambitions for 2022,
there's a lot of things that could be happening. I've got my own little show coming up as well, similar to what you boys are doing. Yeah, speaking to people and getting the real out of them. So what you lot are doing, but keep doing that. I'm encouraging you to keep doing all your episodes. People are watching from afar, and you never know who's going to catch up onto it and give you some sort of extra boost if that's what you want. So keep doing that. So I want to do something similar to that and go to meet players and go to their clubs and just experience it. Because you know what, in football, like I said to you earlier, they only see us on the weekend, so they don't know, what that player is feeling or what his actually thoughts are about the club and stuff like that. It's been interesting to just hear people's voices, and I like that aspect of it. So when you gave me the email about this, I said yes straight away. So yeah, something like that, similar to that. But on the football side, just success, innit? That's what you want. Play well, play good football. So I think for me, there could be a couple more moves in my career. This is obviously not to down where I'm at now. But I could go abroad again in a couple of years or 3 years or whatever, or hopefully climb the pyramid with my current club. So I've just come back from injury, so hopefully we can kick on now and see what the future holds.
Sick. You know?
Yeah, last one for me, really. Obviously, you're still young. You're 30. Joel's 26.
Yeah.
Do you think we'll ever get to see you two play for the same team?
That'll be great. That'll be nice. I mean, try to get that done this summer, really, and it fell through. So, which is a shame. But I think we're closer to it than we've ever been.
Good.
I'll say that.
Who would start on the left?
No. Wherever I want to play, I play. It's up to him, innit? He just has to fill the spaces, innit? So he might have to go on the right. But if we're in the same team, I'm sure we'll do our thing together. So no.
Yeah.
Hopefully, man, he does his thing tonight, and when he's playing against Rangers and whatever. But Joel's got a great future ahead of him. Hopefully, he can stay at Livy and do well. But if not, he can easily come back to England, I'm sure, and be at a good level.
Yeah, no, sick. And obviously, last couple from me, just quickly, we like to ask this question: top 5 music artists that you're banging out right now.
Okay, right now, with cliche, I'll say Drake. Still banging out Drake. It's still in my playlist. I always change up my playlist. Future still in my thing as well. Heavy Future. If Future might even be better than Drake for me, even in terms of overall. I'm a Young Thug fan. Yeah, I'm a Lil Durk fan.
Hey, Lil Durk.
That's 4, and I'm gonna put an English artist on here. I don't even know what's his name. The guy I know him as a player that used to play for Barnet. I think his name is Kia.
Yeah.
Kia. Okay. Used to be at Barnet, so that's where I know him from. But Kia, my kid's putting some music out that I like, so I've downloaded kind of a few stuff of his stuff on iTunes. So big up Kia, man. Hopefully he can keep doing his music. He's doing well.
Yeah, big up.
Sick, man. Sick. And last question: who would you like to see as the next guest on Real Ball Talk?
I'd like to hear from Zavan Hines, man. Get Zavan Hines on there. I'll give him a call to see if he can come on there. I'm sure he would. But yeah, get a Zavan Hines on there. It'd be nice to see that. I'll say that.
Say no more. That's sick, man. Yeah, they'll definitely try and reach out to Zavan Hines because he started off at West Ham as well, and he looks sick at West Ham.
He's West Ham through and through, bro.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, he's West Ham. He's there now, and he's coaching the kids under 14s, under 15s. Sick. So see what I'm saying? So you can't burn your bridges, man. You never know when a role for you could be there. So he's there. Colton Cole's a coach there as well. So yeah.
Oh, that's sick, man. That's sick. Well, yeah, man. Listen, Frank, it's been a absolute pleasure. I'm sure Jelil will attest to it as well. Like, obviously, as it was with your brother.
Yeah.
Like, you've given us the real open up to us and giving us your time. So
no problem.
We immensely appreciate that. Obviously, good luck for the rest of the season. Hope you continue killing it, and obviously, looking after your children, your family, everything else. You host for your own podcast. Hopefully, that can continue to bang.
Yeah.
And yeah, man. Hopefully, Joel does his thing tonight, and I'd like to see that conversation one time about who would play on the left between the two of you. Because
Oh yeah. Listen, unless I'm 45, man, I have the left in it, so he knows that anyway. But no, boys, appreciate you having me on, man. Really do appreciate it. Like I said, keep doing your thing, and hopefully you can get some more guests on that I know as well. So I'll try to get Zab on for you as well. So I'll contact you and let you know on that. But you boys are flying, man. Keep doing it.
Appreciate it, man. Appreciate. And obviously, big up everyone who's going to be watching this tomorrow. But we are out. Make sure to smash the likes and subscribe to Real Ball Talk. Peace and love, everyone. Peace.
Take care.
Peace.